It's Tuesday, August 11th, 2020, a very volatile day on Wall Street today. Earlier in the day, Dow Jones was up over 300 points, and in the very last hour, it coughed up all of its gains, closing in the negative 104 points. Precious metals destroyed today. Just a very, very volatile day. But when I look at what is taking place, I lose no faith in gold and silver. In fact, they're back on sale. So anybody who's been on the fence saying, oh, they've gotten priced out, gold back under 2,000, silver somewhere in the $25 area right now. No excuse for anybody out there not to be able to buy some silver right now. And you know, when you buy this stuff, get ready for volatility, get ready for manipulation. Obviously, there was a lot of paper flooding the market today in order to slam metals down, but I don't believe they're going to stay down for very long. Not to say that they're not going to have a bad week or a bad couple days. They could be. But when you buy precious metals like gold and silver, the way I look at it is, and I don't give financial advice, I'm just sharing with you how I look at it. I buy it, I put it away, and I forget about it. I buy precious metals as a preservation of wealth, as a form of life insurance. I hope I never have to use it, but I'm going to buy it, put it away. Today, another great day to make a purchase. I will be making another purchase myself. But when you look at what is transpiring, why should you be protecting yourself? It just absolutely fascinates me to see markets, NASDAQ at all-time highs, Dow Jones going to go back to all-time highs. But there seems to be no fear in these markets, but I think we need to really take a good look at what's happening, and you're going to see a lot of fear. If you're smart, you're gonna pay attention and identify the fear. Kamala Harris. This should tell you you need to be preparing. Cities across America are looking like war zones, and you think you shouldn't be preparing. 40 million plus people unemployed currently in America. Yet markets continue to go up even though they pulled back a little bit today. But there's no fear in these markets, and there should be a lot of fear in these markets. We look at news today. Universities canceling their football seasons. Article right here on CNBC. Big Ten, Pac-12 postpone college football season due to concerns. And this is going to continue to spread through other huge universities, and this is going to cost universities hundreds of millions of dollars. Another article on CNBC today, at least 1 million people may not get the president's $400 unemployment boost. Eligible recipients must be receiving at least $100 a week in state benefits. Most states set minimum weekly benefits below that threshold of $100. Roughly 3% of those collecting unemployment insurance get less than $100 a week. These people may be ineligible. So the real number could be a million, or it could be in the millions that are not going to benefit by this $400 boost. But don't worry, the markets continue to go up. They see no fear. Here's another one on CNBC. As Airbnb struggles with plunge in travel ahead of IPO, hosts are complaining about missing payments. Airbnb hosts are complaining about missing and late payments from the company when they need the money the most. Payments are taking longer to arrive, or they are disappearing from their online dashboards. This is people's livelihoods. They cannot get paid, and most of these people have mortgages on these properties. And if Airbnb doesn't pay these people, they become delinquent. And you know, this is just another example of another company looking out for themselves. And this is a reminder, at some point, banks are going to do the same things. Banks, millions of people trust these financial institutions. They trust their banks, that they're going to protect their money, that their money's safe in the bank when it is not. They believe that they can just go to an ATM and money will magically appear. We're coming to a point in history, whether that be in the short term or the long term, at some point, we're going to see, I believe, bank runs. We're going to see banks shut down. We're going to see bail-ins. We're going to see ATMs shut off. And just like these people whose livelihoods depend on a company like Airbnb, who isn't there for them because they're looking out for themselves. When things get bad, do you think the bank is going to be looking out for you or themselves? They're going to be looking out for themselves, not you. And that's why at some point you're going to see the ATM shut down. You're going to see banks shut down. We've already seen little glimpses of that already occurring. So take heed to the warning. Things are changing abruptly. Another article today, Gavin Newsom, California can't afford to pay for extra unemployment benefits. States are broke. So even though the president is trying to help people, millions of people may not receive the help. You know, I watched the president at a press conference a little while ago, and he said some really good things, but every time he talks about this economy, every time he talks about this market, he loses me. He bragged about the Dow Jones gaining 9,500 points since March. Why has it? And why is it gaining points? It's gaining because the Federal Reserve is printing money hand over fist. It's buying corporate debt. It's buying junk bonds. It's injecting billions into the banking repo market. We have 0% interest rates, shortly probably going to negative. This is why this manipulated stock market on Wall Street continues to soar. It's all fake. It's all delusional. But this president seems to always resort to going back and taking credit for it. And he'll say some really good things. But as soon as he goes to the economy, he loses me. And until this president gets honest with the people and comes to the people and tells us exactly what we already know, but millions of people delusional, when he comes to that point where he can be honest with what's really holding this stock market up, I have an issue. He said that the economy is rebounding. He said the economy is incredible. Absolutely losing me. And I'm not here to criticize the president or put down the president, okay? I don't want to see the president fail. But he fails when he talks about this economy and the stock market. 90% of this country doesn't care about the Dow Jones, doesn't care about the stock market. What they care about is, are they going to get a stimulus check? Are they going to get help? Are they going to get a job? Are they going to return to work? Is their economy going to open up? That's what they care about. They care about feeding their kids, paying their mortgage, paying their rent, paying their car payment, their credit card payments. That's what they care about. They could care less about the 9,500 points in a fraudulent, manipulated Ponzi scheme stock market. Article today, 35% of small business owners tap personal savings to pay rent and wages during this recession. Do you think these people care about what is happening on the stock market? The stock market could care less about these people. These people are tapping in to personal savings. They're tapping into credit cards. They're getting obliterated. They're getting wiped out. Thousands upon thousands of these small businesses are permanently closed. Many holding on by a thread right now. They could care less about what is happening in the stock market. Here's more news. We talk about this booming stock market. Bailing on Boeing. Order cancellations exceed new sales for 6 straight months. Customers abandoned plans to buy 43 of its 737 MAX planes in July. Boeing has net negative orders of 836 planes this year. They're running out of space to park these planes. They're piling up, as I said in past videos, about an hour and a half from my house here in Victorville, California. They are piling up planes, parking them in the middle of the desert. There are no buyers. There are no places to park the inventory. Retail chains abandon Manhattan, saying it's unsustainable. The tourists are gone. The office towers are empty. Many stores have closed permanently, while those that have opened have very little foot traffic. On top of that, take a look at the crime and looting that is taking place in areas like Portland, New York, Chicago, all over the country. Just when these store owners get a chance to open up, it's always something else. Either we shut the economy back down, or they have to contend with all this crime, these gangs. It's just pure, utter madness. And instead of bragging about the Dow Jones, something needs to be done about this. U.S. bankruptcies on track for 10-year high, with more than 100 consumer companies already filing. As of August 9th, 424 companies have filed bankruptcy. Nearly 100 are in the energy and industrial sector. But the Dow Jones, the NASDAQ, and Wall Street continue to soar based on nothing but pure manipulation. Again, I don't care how hard gold and silver got slammed today. I'm going to buy more, because these are all warning signs that we are going to witness the worst, most horrific economic collapse in world history. I mean, you don't have to have a very high IQ to connect the dots and see what's going on here. Okay, this is going to lead to economic destruction. Mortgage mayhem begins. Overall delinquency rates soar as housing crisis lurks. Data and analytics firm CoreLogic published a report today warning about early stage delinquency rates that are starting to rise. 7.3% of mortgages were 30 plus days or more overdue in May. That's up 3.7% from May of last year. U.S. serious delinquency rate to quadruple by the end of 2021, according to CoreLogic. I want to take the last few minutes of this video and I want to go over an article on the hedge today with Peter Schiff. And he made some really, really good points. And I want to paraphrase this article and share it with you, because it reinforces my belief in owning assets. And even though gold and silver got absolutely hammered today, it's an opportunity to go buy some more. We know how manipulated these markets are, but how much longer can they continue to manipulate them? And at some point, I truly believe they will lose control. And if you're not holding on to real money, if you're not holding on to gold and silver, I believe you're going to be in very, very big trouble. But if you believe that the stock market is going to continue to go on with this Ponzi scheme, if you believe that the US dollar is not going to come under severe pressure, if you believe that paper is the way to go, if you believe that this economy is going to bounce back when it was struggling years ago, if you believe in the financial institutions, if you believe in the politicians, if you believe everything is going to be okay, keep doing what you believe in doing. Me personally, I've lost belief in the financial institutions, the banks, the Ponzi scheme, stock market, the politicians, etc. I believe now everybody has to look out for themselves. And the best way to do it is to detach from the system. The system is going to melt down. It already has begun. And too many people are going to stay in it just a little too long, and they're going to get wiped out. But let me go on with this article and highlight some points and paraphrase through this article of what Mr. Schiff says. He says tens of millions of Americans are unemployed, thousands of businesses are gone, and trillions of dollars of wealth has been wiped out. Shutting down the economy has done nothing but make things worse. When they shut down the economy the first time, it didn't stop the infection. So what did they do? They shut it down again. He calls this pure genius. All it did was wipe the middle class out even more. It wiped out people's businesses. It wiped out their wealth. Any emergency reserve that they had, they've used it up. They've wiped it out, and they become more dependent on this government to take care of them. They've lost their dreams, they've lost their futures, and the American people have paid a huge price in doing so. Economic prosperity doesn't matter. It's no longer the priority. All that matters now is force-feeding people a false sense of safety. Today, there can be no discussion of cost or benefit. There is one priority, and it's no longer economic prosperity. They have ripped prosperity out of the hearts of the small business owner. The debt growth that is taking place is completely insane. The U.S. Treasury Department expects to add $5 to $6 trillion in debt this calendar year. That's more than the entire national debt of 2001. I mean, you don't have to be Einstein to figure this out. This is so dangerous to the well-being of America, to your future, to your kids' future, this is just destroying the entire country. The Federal Reserve has conjured up trillions of dollars out of thin air, slashed interest rates to zero, and there's a very good chance they will go to negative. Money printing, going deeper into debt, negative rates, people getting $600 a week not to work. All this is destructive to economic prosperity. We live in a time where talented people, productive people who have made valuable contributions to their companies have been fired because they used the wrong words or had a different opinion. Powerful movements have gripped the world and the US, and they are economically destructive. I don't believe you need a crystal ball to see where all of this is going. Look, everybody has to make very serious decisions right now. We're at a crossroads, and many people are going to continue to gamble on the system. They're all in, they're doubling down on the system. And many people have begun to wake up that they better have real preparations, real assets. And when we talk financially, I believe gold and silver are going to go ballistic. Yes, there is huge volatility, but they are the two worst enemies of the system. Gold and silver are the two worst enemies of this system. And I believe the people who are going to survive are going to be the people who get out of this system and the people who are already out of this system. The more you depend on the system, the more you depend on this monopoly money, the more chance you are going to be victimized by the system. I'm going to end right here. As we see America turning into a third world country, stock market up, the 0.0001% are buying jets, they're buying yachts, they're buying hypercars, they're buying islands. They're doing incredibly well. But I'm seeing tens of millions of people really suffer. We have over 40 million people unemployed in America. And somebody today wrote me, I believe his name was Dan, and he said the working population in America is around 155 million people. We have 40 plus million people. Some of you say 50, 60 million people unemployed, but I'm going to go with the number around 40, maybe a little higher, 40 to 50 million people. Out of 155 million working people are jobless. And when you also take into consideration how many people have had wage cuts, they've had their hours cut. When you look at people working for the minimum wage, not making enough money, still working one or two side hustles and barely keeping their heads above water, how is this going to continue? Fort Worth Star Telegram. 5 horses butchered near Texas town since May. Police think someone is eating them. So 5 horses butchered in Pearland, Texas. Again, food shortages, food lines, people not getting enough food. This is absolutely a terrible story. It's disgusting. It's horrific. People stealing horses, butchering them, very inhumanely also. But think about Venezuela. Think about other countries. People having to eat zoo animals, people eating dogs and cats. So we're now beginning to see some signs of what's happening right here in America with the food situation. This is unbelievable, but this is happening. And I hope these people are caught, because this is obviously very, very illegal. But we're going to see desperate people in desperate times in America doing desperate acts. And eating horses is going to be nothing compared to what we may see happen in America. People are going to be stealing your dogs, your cats, just to survive. And don't laugh, because it's already happened in Venezuela. And Venezuela, one of the wealthiest countries in the world, where people have to eat zoo animals and cats and dogs. But we're having people now in America eating horses. And this is just the beginning. You haven't seen anything yet. Things are about to get much, much worse. I truly believe right around September, we're going to see things really tick up all the way into November. and beyond. So make sure you are preparing. Just the news is endless. What is taking place in America is really concerning. It's shocking. It's scary. And anyone who wants to ignore it, I think, is a fool. People who want to continue to believe in the system, God bless you. I wish you the best. I'm completely out of the system, and I'm going to do whatever I can to stay out of the system. I'm keeping the very minimum amount in the bank, and I believe you should be doing the same. I don't trust these banks. They're the biggest criminal organizations in the world. They are manipulating these markets. They are manipulating gold and silver, and they will lose the ability to manipulate at some point. And when they do, all bets are off, and you better be protecting yourself and preparing right now for what's coming down the road. God bless every one of you. Thanks for watching.